What's up, Raiders? Bionic here. Welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video where we're going to talk about the team that made it happen for me against Hell Hades. So I released the video Spicy Wings Challenge. It was my fights for the contest against Hell Hades. If you guys want to see that recap, go ahead and check out the video. It's about 16 minutes long, a little bit over the usual, but I thought it still had some pretty valuable content in there for you guys. The feedback has been amazing. I enjoyed doing this contest. I certainly did not enjoy eating very spicy. I don't do that often, but heck, for the purpose of this contest, it was all right. So obviously a lot of things had to go in my favor for this to work, for it to allow me basically to win. So what I'm going to do today is go over the team that was used for this and how it all fits in my roster. Because let's face it, 30 champions for me is not the regular amount of champions that I maintain well geared. So like I had to push obviously to try and work on a lot of these champions. But in the end, it was all about RNG. It was all about pulling some of the good ones to give me a fighting chance. On top of that, I had to get a somewhat easy round from the arena. And I think that's the biggest factor here, is that you are at the mercy of the RNG on that one click. You can't refresh until you actually get an easy round. So it can really go both ways for me. So I gotta hit it with the team, and then I gotta get it with the easy round. And that's somewhat what happened for my fights against Hell Hades. I've said it before, but like, he has the better roster. I was really expecting him to win, but heck, it went in my favor. So who knows? Can I actually pull this off a second time? I'm not gonna bet on myself. I'm just gonna put it that way. So anyway, all that being said, before I get started, also here's the updated schedule for this week for streaming. Last week was a little bit hectic because I was sick. Still a little bit sick, but we should be all right. So I'm going to be streaming today at 2 p.m. like I typically do, probably tomorrow, and then maybe Friday. And then depending on when the next round for this chicken wing challenge is, I might update the schedule. But if you guys want to see the schedule, please go check this section here on the chat section of my Twitch channel. Scroll down, you should be able to see this little calendar right here. That's sort of what I'm using, okay? So anyway, let's get going with the so-called team. Basically, I have most of the champions here that I was going to put in that pool of champions. I'm trying to work on them a little bit more for the next round, but overall, this is pretty much what I have, right? So I don't have a ton of options. In fact, I only have like 3 speed leads. So the chances of me actually pulling one of the 3 for this contest or for any round was very slim. However, I did end up pulling my Gorgorab. And although he is speedy, he's certainly not on the level that my Arbiter is, right? But he still has a respectable, right now I think it's 291 speed. Could be better. If I'd have more glyphs, it'd probably be close to 300, but I just don't, okay? I'm always short on resources, always short on silver, so I just had to work with whatever I had. Anyway, I'm gonna go over his gear real quick. I never really made a guide on Gorgorab. It's pretty straightforward, right? Full speed ahead. But this guy has, like I said, decent stats. Certainly not any offensive stats whatsoever. That's not what I'm looking for. I literally just want anything that has speed. By now I've started getting a couple decent sets of divine speed, and I shouldn't say decent, just a couple pieces that I can work with, right? Shield here, we see again a lot of speed boots, 6-star speed boots. Obviously that does help a lot. We only had a resistance chest. Unfortunately, I couldn't get like a defense percent or HP percent. And then here's the funny part, and it's funny that it ended up happening against Hell Hades, but I am going to point it out. I do have a flat defense pair of gloves. I just needed speed. This is not the first time I've done this before. I think I have another pair probably lying around somewhere on one of my champions, but it's the same thing. It's flat defense, right? At this point, if you're looking for a speed lead, flat stat items might actually work for you. So I got lucky. I rolled triple speed on this one. I'm tempted to roll it to 16, just not right now. Obviously not a priority, but still, overall, that was enough, right? It ended up being just enough, in fact. Okay, then we got HP here. We've got HP, and we have a defense banner with some speed. Of course, I could have more accuracy to hope that this works a little bit better. But then again, all I really want from this guy is to fill the turn meters, and then obviously give me a revive option if I am to you know, die at some point. Masteries, I'm playing around with this. I thought timely intervention could perhaps give me an edge, so I'm testing this out for the time being. Like I said, this is not a full-on build video for Gorgorab, but still maybe use this as a reference. If ever you guys have properly tested this, let me know. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Anyway, then the next one we got was Sile of the Drakes, right? Actually, she was in the second round, but Sile of the Drakes, I've done a build video on her before. I have her in a shield set. The way I've built my tag arena is that I love to have shielders on my teams. I think it adds a little bit of survivability, and of course, like a Sile of the Drakes in Relentless could be perhaps better, in a stun set could be perhaps even better if she were a dedicated crowd control champion. In my case, the way I built my tag arena, I just needed that extra champion with, like I said, the shield set. She's also a reviver, which helps quite a bit. So the way I did the tag arena team is that I have like Arbiter on one, Sile of the Drakes on the other, and then I have like Gorgorab sometimes on the other one. Therefore, give me a revive on all three teams. Anyway, all that being said, her skills are completely maxed out. Being an accessible champion, I like working with those champions. As for the gear overall, obviously, because we have a shield set, I did try to put some HP percent. The substats, I mean, it was defense percent, speed, whatever I could get that was reasonable for this champion. We do have HP ring. We have a crit damage amulet. I was also trying to get her to deal some damage at the same time, right? And we have an accuracy banner, of course, if you want her stuns to land. Okay, so mastery wise, here is what I am using for the time being. Again, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this way, but overall I kind of like it. She adds a lot of sustainability. Against Torments, she is a little bit of a problem because of her passive, right? The heal and the buff that she adds, but still overall a solid champion. So in this case, she ended up being sort of like my crowd control champion, right? With the turn meter reduction and the stun. Okay, next one we had Sear. So Sear is built mainly for my dungeons. I have been trying to adapt her to be a little bit better for the arena, but overall I tend to think that she's a little bit too slow and she lacks on accuracy for her to be really effective in the arena. I do use her sometimes. Farting Cows went onto my account at some point, gave her a shot, and he's like, yeah, we got to increase that accuracy, and I know, okay, but overall, these stats are a little bit more important to me right now because I use her in the dungeon. Therefore, 100% crit rate and the highest possible crit damage is the most important. I did a build video on her not too long ago, but I will say this. Her skills are all maxed out, but I have changed her masteries because I went for Helm Smasher now. So I lost 20% crit damage, but I gain like the possibility to ignore defense. Therefore, she can hit a little bit harder against the bosses in the dungeons, but also in obviously the enemies in the arena. And I ended up having to use her, and she was once again a key component to my team for those victories. I do not have any other deep buff strippers, right? Champions that can remove the buffs from the enemies. Therefore, she was really good at that. Okay, of course, like she does deal a little bit of damage with her A1. She can get an extra turn, but that's sort of not what I focused on with the gear, right? I have like HP percent here. We do have 6-star crit damage, 6-star crit damage for the amulet as well. Ring was literally just whatever overall added survivability, not looking for damage like I said, and then the rest of the gear is just crit rate and crit damage to hit those numbers. Okay, so a few, like we got what, 1 random piece, 3 random piece, and then accuracy and speed basically. Okay, finally the last champion, of course, the real MVP, Rotos. All those extra turns, all those procs, it was next level. I mean, like, you know, it's RNG, and this is just more RNG on top of it. So I guess I got really lucky for that as well. But his gear is finally at a point where I can say, like, it's a decent build. It's not crazy. It's certainly not legendary pieces. Most of them are not even 6-star. But hey, you know, that's the free-to-play account. That's all I can get over this 18-month period. Therefore, just work with it. So, like, the substats, again, you want to increase his offensive stats, but like don't ignore the defensive stats as well. If he can survive a couple more hits or like heal himself back up to over 50% with his A2, he's gonna last a little bit longer. I think the first fight that I got was a perfect example. I literally 1v4 the enemy team, and it was down to me and the enemy Rotos, and like it was so close. I almost got it even that first fight. So again, Rotos is literally OP. He's broken. At least he works in a way that no other champions do, and therefore I think a lot of people hate him for that, but also a lot of people love him for that, right? Anyway, so we have crit damage amulet, we do have attack banner. Not really looking for a ton of accuracy here. I just wanted this guy to deal as much damage as possible. So I mean, like, the stats are not crazy. The speed is really low. I would like this guy to be close to 200, but in a relentless set, I just can't afford that right now. All of his skills are obviously done, and then here are the masteries that I am using on this guy right now, which is all right. So my typical somewhat nuke build for the arena, at least it's the one I'm using the most. Maybe I'll fine tune this in the future, but still, I think it worked all right. Right? Anyway, all that being said, the last little few things I will say is, again, the shield set on Sal the Drakes adds a lot of survivability for your Rotos, especially if you can pass that 50% or like that 150% HP with the shield set, meaning that you need 3 hits to take this Rotos down. So it becomes even harder to deal with this champion right off the bat until the shield goes away. And like the passives, obviously, were also working in my favor, especially here with the Rotos and the style of the Drakes. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I think that a lot of the OP champions right now in the game have OP passives, right? Torment is a great example. Brachus would be another great example. Style of the Drakes, Rotos, maybe not Style of the Drakes as much, but still it makes a difference. We have Sifi as well, which has a really powerful passive. So again, the more and more I see these overpowered champions come out or be released, it's the passives. I think they make a big difference. So like, pay attention to that, because this is literally stuff working for you without you having to really do anything extra. Harvest Jack is another great example, and so on. Like Basilisk I like as well, because this guy can literally just revive himself. So again, these little things add up. But when I selected my roster, obviously I didn't have a ton of champions to work with, but I paid attention to these little things, okay? So anyway, going forward, I will be facing Scratch. I'm not expecting the win. He made it clear that like he went all in for this. He re-geared his 30 champions. He spent like 40 million silver. Heck, I never had 40 million silver, you know what I mean? So I'm just gonna do what I can with what I have, and I'm gonna pray to the RNG gods that they're going to favor me yet again. Anyway, all that being said, guys, that was basically it. Just a quick recap of my first round against Hell Hades, the team that was used. Let me know what you think in the comments below. How lucky do you think I got? Because I know, personally, I think I got extremely lucky, and like, I'm not expecting this to hold up throughout the next round. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys later.